welcome to the Lot 1 podcast, the show where we talk to professionals working in the film industry about their experiences and how they got to where they are. And also, maybe, how you can get there too. My name is Deji Bankoli, and I am a director, writer, producer.
And most recently, what are you?
And most recently, I am a studio coordinator.
Wow.
This is a new thing.
Wow.
Yeah, very exciting.
Moving on up in the world.
Yeah. You know, it's you know, maybe I shouldn't have announced it, you know, because it's not like a full thing, but you know, that's what I'm doing right now. But today we are, if you are watching this, you know what's going on, right? Because you can see what we're wearing.
Yeah.
But if you're not watching this, hopefully you can hear it in Chris's voice how festive he is.
So festive.
Yes, so very festive.
Yeah.
Your voice is glistening off of the ice shards of the snowflakes.
Ice shards of the.
Hey, you know, and it's very merry and it's very joyful and gleeful. Today we are doing our holiday episode, and
woo,
we're gonna make this nice short for you, nice and short and sweet. And this will be the last episode that we record before the new year.
Yeah,
new year,
buddy.
new us.
New us.
Chris, just tell us, you know,
who I am.
Give us
My name is
who
Christopher
you are.
Henley. I am the co-host of this beautiful podcast. I didn't get a promotion because I'm still, a CEO of a company called Lot 1 Productions. So
it's true.
I feel like you can't really go higher than that.
Yeah.
I'm just messing around.
You can go higher. You can be
the president of the
world. Yeah, you could go. See.
No, I mean I'm DPing this weekend on a project and co-producing. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Hey, me too.
Yeah. Whoa, it's like we're on the same shoot.
What a interesting coincidence.
This is gonna be a weird episode. I can already feel it, Deji.
Yeah, definitely weird. But anyways, why don't you rein us in? You got a list of things here that'd be fun to talk about.
Sure. Yeah, I think let's just review a little bit of this year. It is the holiday episode. It's the Christmas, if you celebrate that. It's the New Year's. It's the everything. Let's talk about this year, not just about the podcast, but yourself, Deji, and the whole, maybe even a little bit of the industry.
Yeah, totally.
How are we feeling about your year as a filmmaker, Deji?
It's interesting. Every year is different, right? This year started off in a different town, far away.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that was this year.
Yeah, that was this year.
That feels like 2 years ago. So much has happened since then.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was in San Luis Obispo at the beginning of this year, and by the way, didn't we also start this podcast this year?
Yeah.
So that happened.
Technically, yeah.
So I was in a completely different place. I was not doing film at the moment. At that time, I was helping my dad with his restaurant, and just basically counting the days until I get back to LA. And then we started this film podcast. And I mean, this isn't even a year yet that we've done this podcast.
Yeah.
So started the film podcast. I started thinking and plotting about the things I was going to do when I got back to LA. When I finally got here, maybe a month or so before I got here, there was a strike. This little strike that happened in the film industry, and so that timed out really nicely for me coming back. I
remember when you were like, oh, I'm going to reach out to all these producers I normally work with.
Yeah.
I'm going to have so many jobs lined up. And I was like, and I'm going to join you, Deji, and it's going to be great. And it's going to be fun. And then strike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then the strike happened, and then nothing else happened after that. But it's interesting, since that happened though, I did have a few jobs where I was doing AD stuff and coordinating a couple times, and then I went back to PAing, which I didn't really want to do, but when when times are tough, you know. But I think that whole situation sort of like geared me up to think about the next couple years a little bit differently. And
Yeah.
so it made me think about, getting a full-time job, which I think, fingers crossed by the mid next January, I'll still have this job. But, it had me think about, well, what's a goal for me for the next 5 to 10 years? And, if the next 2 years I'm getting stability, working on the craft, working at a job that I know how much I'm getting paid at the end of the month, that's nice. I can save up some money. I can build up the skills on the weekends and the weeknights, and I can sort of kind of do what you're doing a little bit because you've been doing this thing for
Oh
a
yeah.
minute.
Day
The difference is,
job.
yeah,
Yeah.
but and I'm able to kind of do it in a like a filmmaking setting, so I still am closer to people, which is I thought was pretty important. Yeah, it's a bit of what's been going on, you know, starting to reach out to producers for me as a writer, and
Mm.
so I'm gonna start doing that stuff, writing and whatnot. So
Awesome.
yeah, how about you?
Me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. This year. Woo! This year was a crazy year, and that's why I like thinking back to like, oh yeah, you weren't down here in LA.
Yeah.
Was kind of like shocking to me because it feels like it was like 2 years almost because so much has happened, both
Mm.
personal and film industry wise. I only recently moved to Los Angeles, lived in Riverside before, which is really close, for those who don't know. So this was our first year in Los Angeles, and it's been good career wise because it's been very, easy to just be like, oh yeah, I can jump on that shoot tomorrow, and it's
Mm-hmm.
only an hour away versus 2 hours away, or technically like sometimes because of LA traffic the time would be the same as coming from Riverside, but the miles are drastically different, which does
Mm-hmm.
make a difference in the paycheck. If you're only making 250 but you're driving 80 miles round trip, it's like you got to factor that into the paycheck,
Yeah.
and that's wear on your car and stuff like that. So
Sure.
um I'm trying to think, dude. Like we're getting ready for the crowdfunding campaign for season 2 of Redacted, which is our big project. We've been developing other projects, cubicles, the training videos. We said we wanted to do a feature this year. We did a feature film. We're already getting ready to do the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's pretty crazy what everything that has happened, and then also just like getting on these PA gigs because of you, continue to do training videos with John Crow uh, every 2 months, making those connections bigger and better, which are potentially here in the next year could lead to really fun projects, potential
Mm-hmm.
travel for filming,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So it's like I felt like this year for me has been terrible personally, but also like very good career wise outside
Mm.
of my day job.
Yeah.
Like filmmaking, like really thinking about this last year and just how much I have done and accomplished, and it's kind of laying a foundation for what's to come next year.
Mm-hmm.
uh is really cool and really awesome. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm most excited about, is as terrible as this last year has been for me, this next year I feel like it's kind of culminating into this next year,
Mm-hmm.
which is super exciting but also terrifying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's just so much that's happened, and
I feel like we're
so
being
much that
super
will
vague,
happen.
kind of, but also
Yeah.
not at the same time.
Well, there are certain things that I mean. There's I don't know. What am I being? Am I being vague about things?
No. I feel like I mean a little bit, but like I am, but I don't mean to be vague. It's just very like like, yeah, I could potentially travel for film next year on multiple different projects. I know for one
Sure.
thing I am going to New York for in July. That's
Yeah.
film adjacent, uh, Redacted season 2, I can't talk about it, but like for sure, like if you would have talked to me 6 months ago, I'd been like, yeah, at the end of the year, we're doing the crowdfunding campaign. Like in theory, technically we should already be done with it, but we
Yeah.
postponed it for next year. So it's like, I can't talk about it too much other than that it's happening.
Right. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is crazy. And then like, the next set of features we're probably going to be doing. Can't talk about that too much, but we are doing it. So
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that, there's things coming up in the future. That, like there's also things that what I can do, what I can't say. So I've been like meeting with people.
Yeah.
Right. Like I've been meeting with, some producer friends of mine, and just talking to them about like, I don't know if I told you this or not, but like that I may be potentially directing some like stuff in the future. Potentially. I don't know.
Kind of vaguely
It could be
talked about it.
docs.
Yeah.
Could be docs. But so yeah, but it's like there's some things that you can talk about, but like when it's not like when it's not like completely solid, it's like
not
hard
you
to
haven't
like
signed a contract.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
It's like, well, you can talk about it, but like there's not really anything there yet. But then like when it is there, it's like 100% there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, yeah, I'm talking about this thing because but like before it's like, I feel like before the contract is there, the ink is dry, it's like maybe it could be going away or maybe it's nothing,
Yeah, there's been plenty of projects where I've been like, yeah, we're doing this thing, and then we didn't end up doing that thing.
Yeah, right. That's really like how I feel like the film industry is too. It's just like you're just trying to do a bunch of different types of projects that potentially could happen, but most of them don't.
Yeah.
Like, so it's almost a miracle how anything ever gets made, to be honest. But it's like,
no, you know what though? The new there's a new Variety piece that came out, I think literally today or yesterday, with Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo, and they're talking about like Marvel and then Oppenheimer and how Oppenheimer did really good and like stuff like that. And something that Robert Downey Jr. said was like how films just kind of like what makes a film good, or no, I'm gonna butcher what he said, but along these terms, he says essentially, the reason why he thinks Oppenheimer did so well because it kind of happened on accident, right? Like Christopher Nolan got, from my understanding, because I haven't watched like the whole thing or anything, but he got some original letters from that Oppenheimer wrote from the actor Pattinson from Tenet. So they filmed
Robert
Tenet.
Pattinson?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson. They filmed Tenet, and then because of COVID, arguably and objectively because of COVID, the movie technically failed. But Robert Pattinson gave Christopher Nolan these letters, and he read them, which got him interested into Oppenheimer himself, which then got him into writing the movie. So in theory, if Tenet never happened and Robert Pattinson never happened, Oppenheimer would have never happened. And it was kind of like everything just kind of came together, like Robert Downey Jr. He was saying in this interview that like he was interested in Cold War era because he feels like we're kind of going back to like the same vibes of Cold War era, like not just politically, but just like socially. And how he was already doing all that research and stuff. And then Christopher Nolan reached out to him and was like, hey, I want you to play this character. And he was like, I actually know a lot about that guy because I'm super interested. And so basically he's saying is like, it kind of just happened. And that's what makes the best films is it's like the right moment, a bunch of people passionate about the same thing. It's not forced. And that's what he feels like what really made Oppenheimer so good was it just kind of naturally occurred versus being forced to happen. So like and going off of what you're saying is
Yeah.
like, you know, like it kind of just naturally has to happen, you know?
Yeah.
Because you can say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna work on, or yeah, we're gonna do this project, then it doesn't happen. It's like, okay, well, naturally maybe that wasn't meant to happen, and maybe that's a good thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I also think that the Oppenheimer did really well because of being next to Barbie.
Oh no, 100%.
And then that's like
And vice
that's so it's
versa.
like
I think it was both.
I think another element to that too, you know, where it's just like it just so happened to be that, and then fill in the blank, right?
Yeah.
It just so happened to be that
Perfect storm of everything.
Robert Pattinson had those letters and then like talked to him
Yeah.
or whatever, you know. So yeah, it's kind of it's cool, you know. It's cool when things happen, you know, and things get done, they're made.
But
What's next on the list?
you know what was made?
What?
Christmas movies. Really good Christmas movies. Do you like that segue? You know what, Deji?
You know what?
What was your favorite Christmas movie? You know, more specifically, what was your favorite classic?
There's a lot of classics, right? There's Christmas Carol,
Mm.
A Christmas Story,
The Muppets Christmas Carol.
Christmas. Yep.
Yeah.
One of the ones I find I like the most, and you know, people kind of argue: is this a Christmas movie or is it a Halloween movie? You know what I'm talking about? The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. You know, I've had this argument with many people, but I'm telling you, it is a Christmas movie. You don't call it Nightmare Before Christmas and it not be a Christmas movie. And Halloween ends and the whole thing's about Christmas. So therefore it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Yeah. In the whole second act is about Jack trying to become Santa Claus.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I would say that's my favorite classic Christmas movie. How about you?
Strangely enough, maybe not strangely enough, but A White Christmas is like for me, because I grew up in theater and stuff. So good. Incredible musical, really good. Nice, warm, fuzzy feeling at the end of it. Yeah. White Christmas. I grew up watching that a lot. But then also like, you know, like the classic like stop motion animation, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, those
like
are
that.
Yeah, those are definitely
classic.
Yeah, those are just always on when I was a kid.
Yeah,
those movies. Another one that I really liked is Home Alone.
Oh yeah,
that's a really good one.
Can't go wrong with those ones.
So, have you seen any Christmas movies this year yet?
Ooh, have I seen Christmas movies yet?
The answer is no.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. Well, because I was like, was there anything new that I watched that was tech? And no, the closest thing to Christmas movie that I've watched is Thanksgiving, which is a horror movie.
Right.
About a killer.
Right. I saw that. It was great.
Yeah.
It's really,
fantastic.
really fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Campy. Love it. So, Christmas, almost here. New Year's, almost here.
Yep.
You know, we'll talk about in a bit about like the future of the podcast and stuff like that. But Deji, let's talk about what 2024, Deji, filmmaker, writer, coordinator, producer, PA, film industry. What are you doing? What are you looking forward to? What's happening? What's your plans?
The thing I'm looking forward to the most really is getting opportunity to just hone in on the craft of directing. And I think having a more full-time job gives me the opportunity to, on the weekends, on the nights, go off and actually make those things that I want to make. So when I first got here, actually before I got here, I like came down for a weekend and I shot a very small little short. It was like a 2-page thing. I think you remember it. It's called The Betrayal. And it was really just I was just like, you know, got a couple friends together and just pulled on my iPhone, really. That's what it was. And then it turned out to be interesting. I wouldn't say that it had an extreme plot or any plot for that example. It was just a thing. So, but this this year, next
But you
coming up,
directed something.
I did direct something, right? And I was
Yeah.
working on performance and figuring out like certain angles and just talking through the scene, which I don't really do that often. Also, I forgot that we shot the Cyber Syndicate.
Oh
Yeah, that's
yeah, I
another
was gonna
thing.
bring that
Yeah.
one up. Yeah, Cyber Syndicate, the one I was
Uh,
supposed to DP, but I
yeah.
got sick with COVID.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
that, you know, that has been a something weighing on my shoulders. I got to edit that.
yeah, that'd be great.
So yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? So that I'm going to try to edit and have out next year. And but the big thing, I mean, the biggest thing, honestly, is getting a chance to direct things, having opportunities and time to write
Mm.
and either sell or maybe direct some of those things that I wrote. You know, I'm a very work oriented person, so like oftentimes work takes precedent over everything else. You know, and so um if this job works out that I'm, hoping will, then I'll probably be doing a lot of that work, and then on the weekends doing those things. Which means, if I write something that could be made, maybe for like one of the things that you're doing, I mean, I would love to direct it, but I have to try to figure out how I would do that,
Yeah,
especially with time and
yeah.
time off and all that kind of stuff. So, but I'd have to coordinate that and figure that out. So, but yeah, so there's that, and then yeah, that's what I would say I'm the most looking forward to. How about you?
Oh boy.
How about
Just
you?
piggyback off what you're saying. I mean, I always say I'm a producer director, but the times I get to direct are very far and few between. Um, but it truly is my passion.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do get to direct, I feel like not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I do a really good job. So I know that like I can't be once a year, or it can't be in the future it'll happen. Like I need to start doing it. Similar to you, like I just need to
Mm-hmm.
start doing it.
Yeah.
And start marketing myself that way. But also at the same time, with all the other projects coming along, the features and stuff, which I'm co-producing on all of them, the Redacted season 2, which I'm the series producer for that one. Part of that is I will not swindle, I will convince them to let me direct one of the episodes of season
Sure.
2.
Yeah.
If I like one of the episodes, I'm not going to direct something I don't like. Just like I got to direct episode 5 from season 1. And really just produce more and to get the heck out of my day job,
Mm-hmm.
good old Starbies.
Yeah.
And trying similar to you, like if I can find something film adjacent, or even like I'd be happy with something that is obviously ideal, would need to be in film but still flexible enough to be able to focus on directing, to focus on
Mm-hmm.
producing, to make these features I need to make,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, until lot one can be more financially stable and be my paychecks, is the ideal perfect world for this next year.
Mm-hmm.
But like I would be happy with a different day job that doesn't suck out my soul and my energy, that is flexible, pays either equivalent or more, and will still allow me to take 2 weeks off to film a feature every couple of months, or
Mm-hmm.
take a 5 days off to go film in another country or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and that's really the eternal struggle, is figuring that out, because I definitely need to get out of the retail space. It is
Mm-hmm.
not my cup of tea anymore. But I'm excited for
Yeah.
film. There's so much opportunity next year for me that I am beyond excited.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. Season 2 of Redacted has me really hyped. If we do this right and we can get the funding for it,
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty legit. And I'm taking you
Yeah.
along with me, Deji.
Hey. Um. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any samples to give you for my writing. Oh, actually, I do. I didn't. Did you read some of my stuff yet?
Yeah, you sent me some stuff.
We can talk about
We're
this
gonna talk about
off
that later.
camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Anyways,
I do need more writers. I am
yeah.
looking for writers. I need someone to write me a feature, and I need someone to write me actually 2 features, 2 separate features. So if anyone's a writer out there, at Henley_son on Instagram, reach out to me. I am looking for writing partners. I am not a writer. I will admit that. But I am a storyteller and I'm a world builder. So that is my goal next year, is to get those features on their feet.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a little in with some people, so I think that's
for distribution, maybe? Question
yeah.
mark? I don't know. We'll see.
So
yeah,
anybody who's out there looking to get their thing actually made, you might be a good resource.
I
So.
might be a good resource, and that's the key for this next year, is I need to start marketing myself as a producer better and more, to be able to be like, hey, like, I have these connections, I can do these things, I want to do more projects, send them my way, essentially.
That's another thing too I do want to do next year, is do more not marketing, but networking.
Yeah,
I need to
100%.
go out and go to more parties. I'm an old guy now. By the way, I recently got engaged.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I didn't know
if
I was going to mention it earlier, but I didn't want to.
You
kind of got
cool.
like a wedding maybe next year, maybe?
I don't know. I don't have no idea about that. There's a dog down there. But yeah, so they're doing a lot more networking, going out to parties. I was going to say I'm an older guy. I'm 35 now, and so going to parties doesn't sound that much fun to me.
Yeah, me too.
And so, but I think if it's like a get together, like a little small swanky thing, I guess.
Something that I have been doing is, and I want to do this more outside my inner circle, but I've been doing a lot of lunches with people, and those connections have and are leading to some pretty cool stuff. I mean, like, example is the feature films. Obviously I had an in already, but that was like almost 3 years of groundwork and dinners with them, and going to their house late at night, having a drink and talking about
a lot
movies
of work.
And no, I mean,
like a lot of work there,
have to put in the work to get some stuff done.
What you're saying is, if you're not out drinking with people, you are not going to make it.
I'm telling you, I am telling you, it's not that you won't make it, but it helps a lot. I'm not kidding. You have to go out there, and you have to get lunch.
If you become an alcoholic and you're a derelict on the street, that's just a price you're going to have to pay.
That's not what I'm saying. On a very serious note, you got to get out there.
I agree with you, though. No, 100%. And I think, but honestly, it's weird because like some of the new things that I'm like considering doing in maybe even the next year are because I randomly hit up a person that like I honestly hadn't talked to in like probably 5 years. And I was like, hey, I don't know if you remember me or not, but I did this thing with you and I'm looking for work. So he's like, I don't have any work. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we can just chat anyways, and then we just had a chat, talked about it. And then he was on the podcast, and then now other things could be happening in the future. So, it's just like by doing those meetings, having those lunches, like you can start to like build a little, rapport with people. And I mean, the more you go out and do these things, the more like, arms you have out in other areas, because they're going to start thinking of you when they're doing something, because they're going out, they're meeting people too. And so
absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can definitely see how this is.
Well, what else I can see this Christmas that we should talk about is Deji. What is your I gotta work on my transitions. What is your all-time favorite Christmas movie
All time.
all time? Can't be the
I
same
mean,
answer.
it's the same answer.
No, it can't be the same answer.
It can't be the same answer. Okay, so it was Nightmare Before Christmas before. Which is also a classic. But is it not classic enough?
What's it is. Well, what is secondary? If you can't find it on
It's
streaming,
Home Alone.
you don't have Home Alone. There it is.
Home Alone is good.
First one?
The first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, the second one's pretty good too.
Yeah, it
With
was.
the bird,
Yep.
the bird lady.
Yep.
Yeah.
New York.
I honestly think the second one might be the one because it really kind of just amps it up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's running through the streets, and I think the second one is actually pretty good. That might be my favorite one. Yeah. How about you?
Ooh, probably Elf.
Oh, nice.
It's a good one. It's a really good one. Favreau is a genius. I mean, it's kind of where he got to start. I mean, that's like really where he started taking off as a producer director. So, but also like you can't go wrong with Nightmare Before Christmas. But if I'm gonna throw in a Christmas movie, because I really have to be in the mood for Christmas movies, but if I'm gonna throw one in, if it's not a classic Christmas movie, I mean, some might say Elf is classic at this point, but I'm gonna throw Elf in because at least it's like it's Christmas, but it's Christmas adjacent enough to where it's not like Christmas in your face Christmas. I don't know how else to say that.
I think it's pretty Christmas.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's like Christmassy. Funny, like real world bullcrap Christmas versus like
you mean like just like
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Yeah, like
sure, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I know what you're talking. It's not like a sappy Christmas story.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's like a funny, Christmas tale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, Christmas is over. Pretend like it's over. New Year's comes along.
Okay.
Deji, what
yes.
do we want to talk about a little bit about the podcast and what we got planned, why we're doing a holiday special, where we're gonna be, what's the future of the podcast, and where do we want to take it?
No, I think we should keep that a secret.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
This was a great episode.
Okay, so this year is over, but next year, boy, we got some plans. We do. We have a lot of plans.
Sure do.
We've got a bit of a break in between, right? So we're gonna do this episode, and then we're gonna just take a break, hang out with our families, and do all that holiday stuff. But then when we come back, we're coming back with a vengeance. We want to give you more episodes. We want to give you cooler episodes with cool people. Not that everyone else before wasn't cool, but we're going to have other cool people coming in
more
as
cool
well.
People. Yeah.
Exactly. More. Also, we're going to let you in on a little bit of we'll reveal it. Do you want to reveal the little thing that we've got going on?
So we've kind of mentioned it in the past. Pretty sure in a couple episodes. We have an after show that we've been recording for a while now. And it's more laid back. Take the hair down, kick the shoes off. Just kind of like hanging out with the people afterwards for a good 30 minutes, sometimes pushing 40 minutes. And that's bonus content that we would like to release to the audience. But, we are going to start a Patreon. The goal for this podcast is really, we want to bring episodes more consistent. We know that we've been hit or miss sometimes. It's all growing pains. It's working through with the producers, the editors. Deji's schedule is crazy, my schedule is crazy, guest schedules are crazy. So it really just comes down to refining all of that to be able to give a consistent release, and on top of that, to give bonus content in a Patreon, because there are overhead costs. Like if I can make this my full-time job, I would make this my full-time job. But unfortunately, the reality is we can't. So if people it is not a requirement, but if people love the podcast and want to support it, we want to give
Yeah.
you extra content and extra stuff. So we decided that a Patreon is the best path moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, if Deji could quit being coordinator and focus on directing while being a podcast
Yeah.
host, he totally would. And you know,
Totally. I think, and also, by the way, in these after shows, I'm actually sad. Well, you know what? I'm not sad. I'm happy that people are gonna have like, I don't even know how many you've recorded so far. It could be like more than 10.
yeah, maybe. Yeah. There's a
But
back catalog for sure.
there is a back catalog for sure of all the things. But there are some nuggets in there that I was like, whoa, now that was really good. Like there's so many, like I think that we even have some with Michael from like,
Yeah.
I don't even know, like months ago,
Yeah.
you know, that were like some eye-opening kind of stuff there, you know. But anyways, all I'm saying is that like there is just so many like little bits in there that are really cool, and I think another thing too that we want to start doing is giving you some BTS of like our shoots and like a little bit of like that type of stuff too, because I also, you know, we got some BTS footage for you. So also of the well, maybe I shouldn't say right now, but I'll tell you later, Chris, and then these guys will find out. But there's some cool BTS stuff that we have of some of our shoots, and yeah, so there's just a lot of content coming your way. So
yeah, and I mean, like on top of that too, we're going to revamp the podcast. You know, we're discovering what works, what doesn't work, how we want to format the conversations, and then as well as that, just updating it consistently, you know, pushing the social medias more, you know, trying to get to grow. In the end, we want to grow the audience, because the more we can grow the audience, the better guests we can get on, the farther reach we have, the more I feel like we're helping filmmakers like us.
Yeah.
And that's really the goal here. So like, I'm excited. I hope.
Yeah, me too.
2024 for me, I am determined to make 2024 the best year I have ever had for not just Lot One, but myself, career wise and filmmaking wise. You know, strikes are done, the floodgates are open.
Yep.
Who knows what's gonna happen?
This is true. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening to this show.
The holiday special.
Yes. I'm really hoping that we're gonna get some bells in here, some ching, you know, a little bit of a
little Christmas.
Yeah, you know, little holiday vibes to it. But yeah, thanks so much, everybody, for listening to the show, and we will.
Thanks for the first start of the like almost a year. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't hit a year mark, but like, thank you. Have great holidays, whether you celebrate them or not. I hope you have a good time with family and friends, and get some hot chocolate, throw some snowballs, and we'll see you at the start of next year.
And if you live in California, just throw some lemons or something.
It's been pretty cold. We'll see.
It's hot today. I'm wearing this, but I'm sweating.
You're wearing a robe. For those listeners, I'm wearing a hat and you're wearing a robe.
Yeah, it is like 70 degrees outside.
What? That's like 60 degrees over here.
Well, I'm in the valley, so it's a little hotter over there. Yeah. Anyways. All right, everyone.
Have a great holiday. Thank you for listening. We love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye now. That's a wrap for today's episodes on the Lot One podcast. Thank you so much for joining, and we hope you found this episode insightful and informative.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a rating and a review. It helps others discover our show and let us know what you want to hear more of.
And don't forget to follow us on social media at Lot1_Productions for behind-the-scenes content and updates on upcoming episodes.
We'll be back next week with another exciting episode featuring a special guest from the film industry. Until then, keep creating and keep dreaming big.
And remember, the filmmaking journey is full of ups and downs, but it's the passion and dedication that keeps us going. See you next week.